Following the drama that's been happening recently, I think it was appropriate to talk about pilots. Now, what is a pilot in Rise of Kingdoms? For someone who doesn't know, a pilot is someone who plays on someone else's account with or without permission. And it's usually for KvK fights, grinding barbs, joining fort rallies, well, mainly KvK fights, which I already said. And sometimes people pay for pilots, sometimes people just pilot for fun, especially if there's fighting. Now, why people use pilots is pretty obvious because people can't play the game 24/7, but they do want to maximize the value of their account, which means that if you have a big spending account, you want that account to be online 24/7. Top alliances want rally leaders to be online at all times, or field fighters to be on 5 marching the whole time. Now, this is not super prevalent in the early game. It's mostly in Season of Conquest or the late game. Now, I will say in 3585, we did pilot our top player's account most of the KvK, and it was online basically 24/7. Now, there's a couple reasons why this topic is pretty controversial, and while following the recent drama, a big issue is the security. Now, some of the top players have had issues with pilots in the past where they delete troops, they delete gear, they delete armaments, and that is a big issue, especially if they're going to allow pilots. And very recently it happened, but I don't think it was due to pilots. I think that was a hacking issue. But other than that, some more reasons why it's controversial is because of the playtime, time zone dominance. Alliances with 24/7 pilots are pretty much unbreakable unless you have the same 24/7 pilots. And if you guys saw the KvK between 1960 and 2377, it was very clear who had the better pilots, who had more pilots, because 1960's accounts were online basically 24/7, and it wasn't even close. Now, 2377 did have a pretty brutal downtime, but they also did have people piloting most of the time, but they just had less pilots than 1960, and that's why 1960 basically won that KvK. But yeah, it has been a bit of an issue with piloting, both game integrity, and I feel like Rise of Kingdoms hasn't really addressed it. And I don't blame them. It's a very hot topic, because imagine they ban pilots and then a lot of their top players quit the game because they're not pilots. But then again, no one will have pilots in the top game. And what are they going to do? Just ban people who have pilots? They're going to ban all their top players, because literally most of the high paying players, high spending players, top players use pilots to play the game. Now, the way pilots are affecting KvKs are basically there are endless rallies. The rally leaders are never logging off. The garrisons are never logging off. And honestly, it's basically a battle between pilots. It's basically who has the better pilots who wins the KvK, because none of the accounts are logging off 24/7. Now, I personally have never used pilots, and I don't think I ever will. I do like playing my own account. I like waking up for events even when I'm tired and fighting. I think fighting is the most fun thing you can do in this game. Now, I do understand why piloting is somewhat necessary, because there's a lot of people can't play all the time or grind their account all the time. They have work and they don't have time to farm barbs the whole time, so they spend money for pilots. They actually pay the pilots as like a full-time salary. Not full-time, but you know what I mean. They pay them money to play their account for them. Now, should pilots be banned? I have no clue what they should do about this, but if they did get banned, this is what would happen. There'd be more realistic KvK fights. It would be people actually sleeping, people actually working. I mean, typically the fights do happen on the weekend anyways, so that's already decent. And actually, I think the game would be more strategic. They have to time their pushes with when people are online. But then again, is that more strategy or more just doing what you have to do? You know what I mean? But Rise of Kingdoms will definitely become more, I don't know how to describe this, but more human in a way, because people will get tired and make mistakes. They fall asleep during fights. I mean, that's happened to us before, where people fall asleep while fighting because they've been fighting so long. It's crazy. This game's awesome. And yeah, I do think pilots take away some of like the, I don't know how to describe it, but like some of the soul of the fighting, you know? Like if you're just fighting with pilots all the time, does it really matter? I don't know. That is maybe my opinion, but does it really matter? But the game would become less pay to win if there are less pilots, because the whales wouldn't be able to dominate the field more often. It would be more the grinders and mid spenders, low spenders on the field. It could lead to a more balanced power structure across the kingdoms. But the thing is, the reason why so many people pilot is because if one person pilots and they get an advantage, then everyone else has to pilot to keep up with them. So I don't know how they ban it. I don't think they can. What do you guys think about pilots? Do you think pilots should be punished or accepted in the meta? Have you seen pilots in your KVK? Have you played against pilots? Have you played with pilots? What do you guys think about pilots and what they should do about it? Because, man, it is, I wouldn't say becoming a problem, but it is very, very prevalent. And people who don't pilot do have a big disadvantage going into the game. Now, would Rise of Kingdoms be more fun without pilots? I think it wouldn't be more fun, but it'd be more fair. It'd be more active for casual players, probably more chaotic. It might encourage players to play more smarter or have different strategies, because you won't have players online 24/7 if you don't have pilots. Now, I personally don't mind piloting, but my account isn't piloted by anyone, and I have to do all my own grinding, I have to do all my own barbing, but I don't mind them in the sense that I understand why the game has pilots. Would I prefer the game if they didn't have pilots? Probably yes. But am I okay with pilots? Also probably yes, because there's just nothing you can do about it. Like, I don't know how you enforce it, I don't know how do you balance that. It's becoming an issue, but it's an issue for a reason. Anyways, let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a different style video. I've done a couple videos like this where I just had gameplay in the background and yapped over it. I thought this was a good opportunity to post some more of my ruins fights without it being boring and actually having some, I don't know, interesting topic in the background. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and peace.